We have stated that Enoch is essentially the prophet Idris, who is explicitly mentioned in the sacred Quran.
This not to the project, they named it after him.
Yeah, we'll explain why they named it after him. Right, so he's the one mentioned in the Quran as being truthful and a prophet, and we raised him to a high place. And of course, there are different opinions. Was he raised alive or not? Yeah, exactly. For example, some Muslim scholars said that he was raised and passed away in the fourth heaven. But what we know for sure is that the Prophet, peace be upon him, met him in the fourth heaven during the Isra and Miraj journey. The point is that Prophet Idris, peace be upon him, was the first to write with a pen. He was indeed the truly first to lay down the fundamental foundations of modern science, formal logic, and profound philosophy, and the first to establish the principles of civil politics. He spoke many languages. It's said that he knew more than 70 languages during his time, and there are differing opinions about his birthplace. Some say he was born in Babylon, but he later moved to Egypt and was raised up from there. So there are things that connect him to Egypt. There are some things that clearly link him to Osiris, but even more things profoundly connect him to Thoth, the revered god of wisdom and writing. Thoth. One of the most important things found in Egypt, truly significant, are the emerald tablets of Thoth. We don't really know their true value. The emerald tablets of Thoth, as far as we know, are attributed to the prophet Idris, peace be upon him. I tried to translate them myself, but we don't have them here. They're actually displayed in museums abroad, but many translations have been made from them. Why is that? Because they are the foundation of knowledge and wisdom, and much has been taken from them. The point is that Enoch is also mentioned in the Bible. Enoch meaning Enoch, which means the dedicated one. And as we said, their sciences and knowledge were also stolen, encrypted, and falsified for their own benefit. So among the things that were stolen, also these are the profound sciences of Thoth, or the ancient sciences of Enoch, and his historical story is also being deliberately falsified. Why is that the case? Because one of the significant things he talked about, which is found in a very old book attributed to him, and also in some compelling archaeological artifacts.
Who is this other person then?
Who is Enoch or Enoch? He is Idris.
You mean our prophet Idris? Let's talk about that.
But he was called that in the Bible, meaning the consecrated one. But he is the prophet Idris. There are also things that connect him to Thoth. Yes. And as we said, Thoth, yes, among the artifacts found here are the emerald tablets of Thoth, which have been translated. And what's really strange is, for example, there's a monument that I was asked about last time called the Georgia Guidestones, which are in America. No one knows who built this monument, and it has the Illuminati plan and references to exterminations and such written on it. But at the beginning, it contains some of what was mentioned in the emerald tablets of Thoth. So they basically stole what science had meticulously brought forth and what Enoch had originally brought to humanity. But like
Idris.
Yes, among the many significant things found in a real and authentic book called the Book of Enoch, one of the crucial things specifically mentioned in that ancient book is that it clearly warned about various demons that also came into the world. And that in some way they mated with some people of the earth, and they will return to earth, and along with the great devil will be a cause. They will be a cause of some of the destruction that will happen on earth. The point is,
this is not a human being. The Book of Enoch warned us about these beings. The book explains the hybrid entities that were created by the fallen angels. Some of them are half human and half angel, and others are half human and half animal. The hybrid creatures, the human-angel hybrids, were giants, extremely hostile to humans. Perhaps this is where the stories of demigods originated. The hybrids between animals and humans were not only hostile to humans, but many believe they still exist. There are mysterious reports of hidden creatures around the world. Beings that seem to be hybrids between humans and animals are still said to roam our forests and woods. People often claim that these mysterious entities are demonic because they are frequently behind the disappearance of many animals or even humans. And not only that, but hunters have consistently tried to eliminate these elusive hidden creatures because they pose a very major problem within their communities. It is widely said that these creatures were completely unaffected by bullets. This has raised the possibility that these entities are demons or something of a supernatural nature. Did these monsters survive the flood?
God himself explicitly forbade these creatures from ever boarding the ark as the devastating flood approached and the very sky began to dramatically split in two. Noah opened the doors of the ark to welcome the pure creatures, those worthy of a new creation, but he did not welcome everyone. 3 creatures arrived seeking salvation, but God himself refused to let them in. The first of them was the centaur, half human and half beast. He ran proudly toward the ark. His voice rang out powerfully, saying, "Indeed, my profound wisdom and considerable strength will be greatly needed in the challenging new world that lies ahead." But God saw beyond his appearance. He saw his soul torn between instinct and reason, and so did not grant him salvation. Then came the manticore, a hybrid beast with the body of a lion, bat wings, and a venomous tail that hissed like a snake. It approached Noah with a crooked smile. "Let me in, and I will be your protector." But her beauty concealed poison, and her desire to serve was not pure. In the end, she too was rejected. And through the swirling mist appeared the magnificent unicorn, its brilliant golden horn gleaming even beneath the dull gray sky. "How could you possibly leave such a truly perfect creature outside?" it asked arrogantly, but her overwhelming pride ultimately betrayed her, and her profound arrogance irrevocably sealed her fate. The doors closed and the sky split open, and when the waters covered everything,
she mated with some of the people of the earth, and they will return to the earth. And together with the great devil, they will be a cause of some of the destruction that will happen on earth.
this might be our last birthday, because he is the greatest rival to the beast. Leviathan will return in 2026. You won't want to miss this moment. Save this video and come back to it. When the battle begins, the creature that God expelled from Noah's ark will return for revenge. Perhaps only Leviathan and God possess the power to stop him. This is the curse of Leviathan. The ancient battle that began thousands of years ago will finally reach its climax. Some people say that this epic battle will determine God's divine mercy forevermore. Others firmly believe it's simply the ultimate, decisive showdown between 2 ancient, powerful beings who have fiercely fought for thousands of long years, and everything is now about to come to a dramatic end. If both the mighty Leviathan and his formidable rival were to return to Earth, the devastating consequences for our precious oceans would undoubtedly be catastrophic. The intense battle between them could potentially put millions of innocent marine animals directly in the line of fire, and some species may never recover, even if it lasts only a few minutes. No one knows.
What people often don't fully realize is that when God sent the great flood in the days of Noah, one version of the story clearly states that the reason God decided to destroy the earth was the presence of the Nephilim on it.
Deformed and monstrous giants are viciously attacking innocent humans, and these colossal giants in turn are utterly and mercilessly destroyed by God in the great and devastating flood. Was the Book of Enoch removed from the canonical scriptures because it was considered too fanciful or exaggerated?
Did Jewish and Christian leaders intentionally exclude the story of Enoch from the Bible because they had a particular agenda or other specific reasons? Enoch was the only man who walked with God and returned with secrets that no human was supposed to hear. The ancients said that he ascended to heaven alive, carried by angels. And after a few days, he returned with his eyes blazing from the visions he had witnessed. He spoke of things that no one understood, about heavenly beings, and about the judgment that would come upon the earth. He warned of the flood long before Noah built his ark. It is said that he wrote forbidden books, texts that were hidden because they contained the secrets of heaven and the names of the fallen angels, and the structure of the universe itself. Until the day came when he was no longer there. He was taken and never set foot on earth again. He became part of existence. And this is the essence of these biblical stories about angels and demons. This is what they are really talking about. They speak of beings from other dimensions. We have to be honest. The world is truly stranger than we can conceive. The ancient Book of Enoch was considered lost for long thousands of years, but this new discovery reveals evidence suggesting that the significant book may have been purposefully hidden all this time. These beings, who were not originally from the earth, came from above and interacted with humanity. But the significant benefit of having many different texts is that you can readily compare and contrast them and use them as a valuable tool to trace the original text. Bart Ehrman presents a lot of data that I don't necessarily disagree with. In fact, with the newly discovered Book of Enoch, we have a book that changes everything we knew about our own existence. And what does this imply? Who was Enoch? Thousands of years ago, there was a man known as Enoch. But Enoch was not an ordinary man. He had a unique relationship with God. Thousands of years ago, there was a man known as Enoch. But Enoch was not an ordinary man. He had a unique relationship with God, a connection that can be easily traced back to the first human, Adam. His life was not only a remarkable testimony that revealed many hidden truths to humanity. However, the profound mystery surrounding his sudden disappearance was by no means an ordinary occurrence. The biblical accounts available to us today tell how Adam became the first human on earth. The first thing you should notice is that there are two early individuals named Enoch mentioned in the Bible. The first is the son of Cain, the firstborn of Adam and Eve, known for his encounter with his brother Abel. However, Adam had other sons and daughters as well. One of them was Seth, from whom the second Enoch is descended, as well as other faithful lineages such as Noah. Seth had a son named Enosh, who fathered Kenan. Kenan was the father of Mahalalel, who fathered Jared, the father of Enoch. This makes Enoch Adam's great-grandson and connects him to a line of men known for their faith in God. It is worth mentioning that Enoch had a son named Methuselah. Yes, the famous Methuselah who became the longest-lived human, living for an astonishing 969 years according to the biblical accounts, specifically within Genesis chapter 5, verse 26. Enoch was also the great-grandfather of Noah, who was commanded to build the ark before the great flood. At the age of 365, Enoch departed from the face of the earth, but it was not because of his death. Rather, he ascended to the heavens, as it is clearly mentioned and recorded in the sacred Bible, specifically within the book of Genesis in chapter 5 and precisely in verse 24. The biblical texts contain details about what he witnessed or experienced in the heavens after his ascension. However, the story of Enoch continues in other ancient texts, such as the Book of Enoch, which claims to record his visions and journeys through worlds beyond the earth and his encounters with angelic beings. In these writings, Enoch is depicted as a prophet and visionary who glimpsed the secrets of the structure of the universe.
Ancient Myths and the Profound Book of Enoch and Walter Russell's Universal One. What do Norse mythology, the Book of Enoch, and Walter Russell's Universal One have in common? They describe a cosmology based on energy, vibration, and a divine structure, one that has been hidden or distorted by modern science. Let's break it down. Yggdrasil and Norse mythology. The cosmic tree or the energy network. Russell finds the cosmic axis of reality in Norse mythology. For Russell, the world tree is the axis upon which all worlds exist. It's not just something material, but rather an energetic system, a structure of cosmic forces. This reflects the electrical structure, the electromagnetic structure of the universe, where reality flows through a central axis. The worlds of Norse mythology and frequency resonance, Asgard, Midgard, and the 9 worlds represent different vibrational densities. Midgard, or Earth, is the middle ground where energy is balanced, and Bifrost, the rainbow bridge, is a frequency tunnel connecting the lower dimensions. This is exactly what ancient energy teachings describe. A vibrational universe where worlds are separated by frequency, not by distance, according to the Book of Truth. The structure of the universe, the sky and the cosmic dome. The Book of Enoch describes the earth as fixed, with a sky that separates the heavens. This aligns with the Norse belief that the sky has a structure and is not infinite. The stars are indeed powerful sources of energetic light, much like in ancient Norse cosmology, where the constellations have a divine form. The gates of the sky are magnetic. The Book of Enoch describes heavenly gates through which the sun, moon, and stars pass in cycles. These gates mirror the Norse descriptions of portals in Yggdrasil that connect different energetic worlds. Many ancient texts indicate that the North Pole is a powerful energetic center and may be the gateway between dimensions. Both Enoch and Norse cosmology describe a closed system driven by vibrational energy and celestial movements. Walter Russell's Universal Unity is the science of vibration and polarity. The universe is an electrical and magnetic system. Walter Russell describes a universe of balanced rhythmic interchange. Everything is formed through opposing forces of contraction.
There is disagreement about his birthplace. Say it was Babylon, but he traveled to Egypt and was elevated from there. So there are things that connect him. In some ways, he was linked to Osiris, but more often he is associated with Thoth. Thoth took one of the important things found in Egypt was the tablets, the emerald tablets of Thoth.
This connection will truly surprise you. Enoch, mentioned in the Bible and who lived more than 5,000 years ago, had many names in different parts of the world. He was known as the prophet Idris among the Arabs, Quetzalcoatl among the Olmecs, and Hermes Trismegistus among the Greeks. But how could a man travel across the world in a time before the invention of flight? Enoch had another name. Among the ancient Egyptians he was called Thoth, and in the emerald tablets of Thoth it is mentioned that there was access to a technology called stargates. These stargates allowed Enoch or Thoth to travel instantly between different places on Earth and to other worlds. Imagine a door that bends time and space, creating a shortcut across the universe. The tablets describe how Enoch used the stargates to transfer wisdom and knowledge to different civilizations. And this is where things get even crazier. We've only just begun to understand this in the modern era. It's something we now call quantum entanglement. Enoch's accounts speak of his journeys to heavenly realms and his acquisition of profound wisdom. Did these journeys happen with the help of stargates? This might also explain how he was known by different names in various cultures.
Such widespread concern and speculation. There's a theory that the U.S. stayed in Iraq for over a decade after it was liberated. Not because of oil, but something way more powerful. Well, you just see. In the 1920s, a British explorer discovered what was rumored to be the oldest known stargate in the world, located at what is known today as the Great Ziggurat. However, in the 1980s, Saddam Hussein fortified the ancient complex in an attempt to keep out explorers from seeing what was hidden inside, or at least that was the official statement. Furthermore, strange ancient technology has been seen coming out of the Great Ziggurat, rumored to have come through the Stargate from an ancient civilization now living on the hidden planet Nibiru. With many people in recent times coming forward claiming to have been involved in classified programs in Iraq, where Stargate technology was used, many people are wondering,
Perhaps the answer can be found by studying more of the forbidden texts and ancient stories, which suggest that what is written in the pages of the Bible may not be the whole story.